When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello, welcome to a Patreon special of MUGA versus Kopend. You may be surprised to hear me, guys, yeah, because I'm sure you know who this familiar voice is. But I've been brought in as like an independent adjudicator to make sure no shenanigans get musters on this first episode of this. What are we calling it? We got a name, guys? We ain't got a name yet. But I'm assuming it's going to come afterwards, right? So we're going for MUGA versus Kopend. So for Team MUGA, I've got Morayo and Seb representing the 07 to 09 Man United team. Welcome, guys.
Yeah.
What's up?
We're in the building. You know what time it is, man. Come on.
Yeah. And representing Kopend, well, probably the only great team they've ever had is 2008, 2020. We've got Fahi and Ellis. How you doing, chaps?
Bro,
Come on.
what's going on?
Champions. Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into a few things to like separate the sides. But first of all, before we do that, though, I just want to give a big shout out to all you patrons. I know you're not feeding me. You're not feeding me, but you know what? I can respect that you're feeding everyone else in this chat. So big up all you lot, and you know I'm getting paid time in lieu for this. So no overtime.
That pun wasn't intended, was it?
No pun intended. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with what team was better and why. So because Liverpool are the reigning champions, I think I'm going to give this first to the Kopend guys.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty simple. Most points on the board, so I don't really know what more you want me to say. It's clearly the Liverpool team. 99 points. United have never even reached that. So really and truly, this pod should be wrapped up. That's it, done.
Right.
It's not it. Two seasons back to back, plus 97, 99 points. I'm saying too formidable, too strong. Man United can't chat to us, man. Don't know what these men are there talking about, bro.
Alright, okay. But they were quite concise arguments there. They were like the closing arguments that you see in the American movies.
What more do you want to say,
the lawyer movies.
You watch. You just watch.
Very
have you guys watched Suits before, yeah? you had a Harvey Specter, yeah?
On that note, Morayo Specter, why don't you lead things for the MUGA?
I'm actually not Morayo Specter for this segment. This is a Sebby Specter for this.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
I like Fahi and Ellis. I did a bit more work.
Why you looks like you just woke up? Everyone's like, fuck it. Just a quick wait.
Sit gaffer.
So I kind of started from the 06-07 season, and I was kind of looking at the season and comparing it to Liverpool last season. So Liverpool last season was a two-horse race, similar to our 06 and 07 season. The only difference between us and Liverpool is we didn't boil it. So, you know, we finished on 89 points, and Chelsea finished on 83 points. Made the competition quite close. We got to the semi-final. Liverpool got to the final that day. That year they got knocked out by AC Milan. We got knocked out by AC Milan. Kaká, the Ballon d'Or. But that season kind of set as a precursor to the following two seasons. So, by the way, did you know we won it 3 times in a row? But yeah, anyway, yeah. So 07-08, again, a close battle. Unlike this season. So we had 87 points, Chelsea 85, Arsenal 83, Liverpool on a poor 76. One thing that I say was quite special about this season is it was I think it might have been the first time that 3 English clubs was in the semi-final of the Champions League, and that actually, proves, that proves how strong the Barclays Premier League was at that time. Like, right now, teams are just getting pammed left, right, and centre. The best City team or one of the best City teams getting smacked out. Liverpool getting the prayer hands from Morayo. It's all mad right now for the English teams in the Champions League. By that time, 3 English teams in the semi-final. We knocked out Barca, a Barca that had Messi. They had Iniesta, Xavi, Yaya Toure, Deco, Puyol. So we knocked them out, and thank you, John Terry. We got the Champions League on that day. One thing I also say on that is, you know, Liverpool, they've great points, but they've shown that they can't do both. Yeah, they can't double up. Yeah, so last season they was going for the league, it was going for the league,
I love it.
the Champions League, going for the Champions League, and they fucking fumbled it, mate. They fucking fumbled it. It's like, you know what, we're taking the Champions League. This season, they're cool, let's see what we can do. And then they're going for the league, going for the Champions League, and here comes Morayo, fucking smacks them out, and they just won the league. And that kind of shows how difficult it is to kind of compete on two fronts. And then we go to the third time we won the league again. Yeah, sorry. And on that year we got 90 points. So cool. Liverpool, you won 3 more games on us. Oh, well done. Well done, lads.
Wait, hold on. Seb, was that the season we got 90 points and we also rested our starters for the last 3 games because we had another Champions League final? Was it that season? Yeah, it was that season. It was that season.
The season where Liverpool done a double of you.
It was
one, yeah?
It was Old Trafford.
How many points? Did you window? As Floyd Mayweather would say, did you window?
I've been saying it. We've done the double with Sammy at the back.
And all I can say is that season, unfortunately, was beat by the best side ever to kick a football. The best club side ever. Yeah, was unfortunately beat by them. If not, we would have had another double. But that just goes to show Man United showed on 3 separate seasons why no other team in the Prem, especially this Liverpool's, look at your competition. Who was your competition? Your competition was
Man City team, a team that got 100
when
points,
that wasn't the best ever Man City team. No Leroy Sané, no Vincent Kompany. Those were the main players, by the way. Leroy Sané and Vincent Kompany.
You're just chatting wash, mate. What are you talking about? Number one, we're talking about 2 different seasons. You're bringing up 3, so straight away.
No, he said the best. He said the best ever Man City team.
10 minutes of your thesis needs to be cut out.
Okay.
Next point, you're talking about 3 European British teams in the semi-final. Yeah, well, last season we had 4 European British teams in the final, mate. So clearly,
final
was there.
You got 4 European
Europa League.
You're British. You don't see that.
Do you know what I respect? Yeah, obviously on this particular segment, these lot thought they could come through on the 99 points hype, and that would be enough. That would be like, listen, rebuttal the points he made. We won the Premier League when English teams were the best teams in the Premier competition.
Were they the best teams? Were they the best teams, or just
they were the best teams?
They were just the most powerful teams. You can't tell me that those English teams. You can't tell me that those English teams were chatting to AC Milan and Barcelona. Oh, Barcelona that beat you.
No, wait. Sorry.
That's a very cheeky angle.
Wait.
PMP as a Liverpool fan. Go on.
It's literally your USP. That is your USP, mate.
Fuck it, man.
Hold on. To shit on us, you shat on you.
I tell you how I live, baby. You know me.
Listen, this is gonna be easy. Go on, Ellis. Sure, give it us.
Oh, is it back to me now? Yeah. So we're talking about a Liverpool team from 2018 to 2020. One that in 2018-19 amassed 97 points. Unfortunately, didn't win the title. Did win the Champions League. Goals against 22. Goals for 89 came against the team who collected 198 points across 2 seasons, which has never been done before. Man United talking about 89 points and 82
90 points.
Let me just check something. So Fahi mentioned the fact that Sebby used 3 seasons. So those 198 points, is that this season and last season, or is it 2018?
I'm using it as a precursor. 10 seconds.
Sebby was doing like a proper intro to this. We're like talking about things we're not even discussing.
This guy never been in a courtroom before in his life, which is a good thing because that means you've never been a criminal. But
never been caught.
But however, Sebby, as our lawyer, decides to dress up his case, that's fine. It's about convincing the jury, is it not?
I have to rule in favor of Morayo here. I think, I think as long as there is like a bit of decorum, you can be as shameless as you want, but. You know what I mean? Like, I think Seb is perfectly valid in his argument.
Fine. So we'll carry on then, and we'll use that. So Liverpool had to now come back against such a magnificent team. Like I said, amassed 198 points between 2 seasons has never been done, and they had to top that, and they had to top 97 points. So
what I want to say,
this Liverpool team of this 1920, yes, sir.
What I want to say is you was only in the title race once. So there's only ever one title race in these 2 seasons that you're mentioning. The first time it was a title race, you bottled it. That was last season.
Bottled it.
So basically, what you're trying to say is because we were so good and you guys were so shit, it doesn't count for anything.
No. Stay on that point, Fahi. Stay on that point. That's exactly what. That is exactly what I'm trying to make. That is exactly the point.
Yeah.
I'm exactly trying to make that point. That everybody was so shit that it doesn't count. You guys cannot be the best team.
Right, so
let me just basically say, third.
Couldn't do that. It's now an issue, right?
This season, third place, 66 points. Last season, third place, 72 points.
Do you not feel embarrassed?
No, I'm not, because we're battling our old team. Do you know what I mean? I'm not embarrassed, but
we know your team now is better than our team now.
Exactly.
So our team now was better than your team then, because now this team had to be. They won 30. Last season, or season before that, 18-19, they won 30 out of 38 games.
That's great. In a poor league, we've established that. Yeah, go on. No real rivals.
It can't be a poor league.
Hold on. Look,
Mario, wait.
I love it. He's gone.
All right. How can it be
15 minutes?
Morayo, how can it be a poor league when the league winners got 98 points?
What did the winners get this season?
99 points.
No, sorry. What did the league winners of last season get this season?
Well, what's that got to do with Liverpool? We're talking about Liverpool, mate.
No, but you keep bringing up the league winners. You keep bringing up. So wait, okay. So Ellis, don't bring up no league winners then.
Okay, so what have you ever seen?
Ellis and Fahi are even working in tandem. Ellis is arguing one point, and Fahi's coming in and contradicting the point that Ellis is
saying.
In terms of like league quality, sometimes you can judge from the top, right, and say the league is good because you got 4 or 5 really good teams, but also I think we should look further down the table as well, because I think in the Premier League is a notoriously difficult league in terms of how many good teams you have to play every week, right? And we've said that this Premier League, probably from top to bottom, quality wise, is pretty good. Like even your rubbish teams have got good players. What was the Premier League looking like holistically back in 07, 08? Them league.
You had Wigan. They're like Titus Bramble at the back, Sean Maloney up front.
Because I'm pretty sure in 2007 and 2008, Derby finished bottom of the table.
11 points.
Listen, when United were winning the league, Fulham were finishing in Europa League places, mate. That's how crap the league was back then.
Well, currently Wolves are finishing in Europa League.
I mean, but this Wolves will actually
that point only makes sense if you go back and talk about the team that Fulham had. They could have just had a great team at that time, which Wolves have at this time, particularly.
Really?
When did Fulham get to the Europa League final?
Following season.
So we're talking about a team that was a pretty decent Fulham team. No? I think when you chop it up, we're talking about 2 seasons. We won the title in both of those seasons. You won one, you bottled one. We got to 2 Champions League finals. You got to 1 final, and you got knocked out in the round of 16 in the other one. I think like Roy Keane said to your boy Jamie Carragher, when you win that title, it's not, oh, look how many points we got. It's, we are both Premier League champions, and we have 2, and you have 1. Done.
That's cool. But anyway, like we said, this league title will never ever be surpassed, and it surpasses anything that you've done in the past.
Why?
We done a 3-peat.
Can I ask you guys a question? So, Morayo, Seb,
Yeah.
where do you think your United team would finish in this Premier League? And how many points do you think they would accumulate?
I think we'd get, what's the maximum points? Whatever the maximum points is, give me more of that.
Definitely 90 plus.
Yeah?
90 plus.
Yeah,
90 plus. And where do you think the Liverpool side of today would have finished in the Premier League era that you were in?
I mean, if you think about it, if we got 99 points now, back then we probably would have got 105.
Yeah.
It's not inflation, right? You're going back inflation, reverse inflation.
Reverse inflation, yeah.
Let me tell you something, yeah. This Liverpool team are not beating Chelsea in 08, that Chelsea team in 08.
What team was that? What did they have?
The Chelsea team that got robbed. They had Ballack, they had Lampard, they had Essien, they had Drogba, they had Terry, they had Ashley
this
Cole,
Liverpool
they had
team is not beating them.
You talk about legends, man. You talk about legends. What I respect about you guys, what I respect about you guys, yeah, is that your team is definitely a throwback in the sense of you kind of take your idea and philosophy from those older Premier League great teams from that era who were kind of technicians, and they were monsters physically as well. And I respect that, but you know, I don't know if the copy is necessarily better than the original. Respect, man. Respect. Football heritage.
I think Sadio Mane will give Ivanovic a very, very, very long day. A very long day, if that's what you're saying.
But that's one player.
Okay, so with Cristiano Ronaldo, okay, what's your point?
No, not that Ronaldo. Not that Ronaldo. I don't know, you know. That Ronaldo
You literally can only mention one position.
Yeah, but okay.
We'll get there in a minute. We'll get
into it.
Let's move on, because I think you've all provided pretty decent arguments as to why your team is better. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about those teams, right? So let's talk about the best and worst moments of each team. So who wants to go first on this one? I think I gave the opening argument to Kopend last time, so maybe we start with MUGA this time.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually going to start with our one of our worst moments. It was losing the quarterfinals.
End on a high, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Losing the quarterfinals of the 2008 FA Cup to Portsmouth. It was a game that we outplayed them. We had loads of chances which we didn't put away, and Portsmouth went on to win the FA Cup. I forget who they got in the semis and the final, but I'll check that while we're talking now. But essentially, that team should have won a treble. And we did ourselves in, basically. So that's my first low moment that I'm going to go with. Yeah,
bro,
we got a double, so you know we'll sleep on those, isn't it?
Yeah. My worst moment of the 07-08 is more so it's hindsight thing. So it's Man City doing the double over us that season. Them doing the double over us that season probably like set them up, you know, going into the next few years. I feel like that kind of was people didn't know then, but obviously now you can know now. Like that was probably like the beginning of like Man City's dominance, you know, coming on. So yeah, that was in 07-08, and before that, I don't think they had ever done the double over us. So yeah, that was probably one of the worst moments.
Yeah. Portsmouth beat the mighty West Brom, and then they got Cardiff in the final.
I was just looking at it. Must be the worst FA Cup of all time.
I think Cardiff scored, did it?
Ipswich, Plymouth, Preston North End, Man United, and then West Brom. And then Cardiff in the final. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, should have been a treble.
And then Cardiff had Barnsley, Middlesbrough, Wolves, Hereford, and Chase.
Oh my god!
What happened to? We need to do a pod on that FA Cup season. What happened to everybody else?
Just because.
Shall I move on to the worst moments for the Liverpool side, or do you want to do the best moments for MUGA first?
Move on to the worst moments of the Liverpool side. I love that. Cool. Inject it.
let's do the worst moments for your Liverpool side.
For me, the worst moments will be obviously 18-19 losing the title by a point after playing so well throughout the season. Then probably last season losing to Watford and not being invincible, man. Definitely, man, for me personally, innit?
Sorry about that.
Listen, mate, give yourself your adjudicator. So yeah, so that's for me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I echo Ellis' sentiments with both points. With 18-19, literally at our downside of that season was only finishing on 98 points, something United have never done.
Did you say it was that game against Everton where you drew, where you kind of bottled the title, basically?
Yeah, mad thing. It's a bit sad, but at least following 1920, obviously the issue was the Watford game, which was flipping terrible. Like, we deserved to actually lose more than 3-0. We should have lost like 5 or 6-0. It was just like one of the most disgusting performances I've seen in about 4 seasons. So that's definitely the lowest moment of last year.
Okay.
Let's move on to the high points then, Morayo.
Okay. One of my high points is definitely the 5-2 comeback against Spurs. We had a throwback episode where we watched it. So it was a game at Old Trafford where we went 2-0 down at halftime. And then in the second half, literally about 20-25 minutes, where we really decided, you know what, I don't think I want to lose today. And he basically just teared their heart out, literally. Yeah, teared their heart out completely. He grabbed 2. Cristiano Ronaldo grabbed 2. Don't know if you guys remember it. I think the second one was a diving header, and he rips his shirt off, and he let them know what time it is. And then Berbatov even got a scrappy goal, and sorry boys, I had to hate that I had to do it to you. So that was one of my best moments. And the second one is probably John Terry slipping. John Terry slipping over in that Moscow rain.
I think we can all agree on that being a great moment. I think that's something we can all agree on there.
John Terry slipping over in that 2008 Moscow rain. Once in a while, when Man United have a poor performance, which happens a lot more regularly now, as Fahi and Ellis like to remind us, I just throw those penalty highlights on and get myself a glass of Elo. And I make a night of it, mate. So yeah, those are my two bright moments.
Okay, Seb, what are the moments that you sip Las Olas to?
John Terry was definitely down, but my second one would probably be the 08 semi-final against Barcelona, where Paul Scholes scored to bring us through to the final. I just feel like just beating such a good team. Yeah, like what can I say, man?
Okay, Ellis, Fahi, do you respect those good moments? Are those moments that you?
I mean, I don't really
high regard.
They're cute.
It's mid, isn't it? It's all right. Like it's something that you enjoy, like seeing when you got nothing else to do on TV. But it's not something that kind of sticks out in your memory.
Yeah.
How was the Paul Scholes goal again? What, like a little tapping far corner or something?
Hey, you get how you live, man. That's
I respect that, Ellis.
What can I say?
Yeah, you get how you live. It was calm. It was a run of the mill Paul Scholes goal, basically. Nothing to write home about, but it got us to the final, so I get why Sebby put on there, you know.
All right, cool. So you guys have done your best and worst moments. So now let's move on to like crunch time.
Our best.
Sorry.
No, they ain't done their best. They're probably gonna say
my
something.
Bad. Sorry.
They're probably gonna say something about going life and death with a finished Messi or something like that. But no, go on, you man.
Sorry,
go on.
Get your best moments. Sorry, my bad.
For me, 18-19 has to be the 4-0 slapping of Barcelona. Slapping, like literally, they got slapped.
Wash Messi, wash Suarez, wash Busquets.
Watch players, man.
And he got him again. Slapped 4-0, mate. Got pammed. Wijnaldum came on with his nice little trim, scored a couple bangers. Origi, corner taken quickly. It's a game that you will never forget. You will never forget. None of us will forget this game. We'll tell our grandkids about it. We'll tell their kids about it and their kids about it as well, because we're going to live till we're 150. So that's for 18-19. For 19-20, best game of the season has to be the game where every Man United fan called out a certain Trent Alexander-Arnold. A cold night in December. We all remember this day. Their right back
Rent free.
How
can that be one of your?
And these nasty youths got their phones out and they were like, Trent, come outside. Outside. Trent saw that 7:30, 8 o'clock. He stepped onto a pitch in Leicester and slapped them up. When I say slapped, 2 assists, a goal. It was nasty. I've never seen a right back do this in my life. I will never forget. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, did this really happen? I was watching that game back about 4 times that same evening.
A game against Leicester, you know? Wow.
That was one of the best moments of this season.
Yeah, I often do the same with Lee Dixon.
Well, Patrick Vieira doesn't remember, yeah?
Ellis, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think 18-19 definitely beating Barcelona 4-0 against a Messi who scored 49 goals that season.
Washed Messi. He was washed.
Man coming to your pitch, 49 goals. He couldn't score at Anfield to come back from the defeat. I remember in the group chat, man was grilling me, telling me all sorts. I was done. Sorry, Ellis, we're drinking your tears. Then I came back, gave me a little green hair in there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear from no man no more. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't you have to be re-added to the chat?
Oh, you're so nasty. You're so disgusting. You're so nasty. This best moment from this year. I think you just win the league this season. Obviously, as you lot know very well, we haven't won the league, but that's neither here nor there. 99 points. Best team in the land by a distant mile. So yeah, those are the two best points for me.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move now. I can move on this time. Let's move on to the combined 11. So, have you guys got like a formation that you have pre-decided, or what's the?
It's got to be 4-3-3, right?
4-3-3 safe.
But yeah,
both sides play 4-3-3, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we go 4-3-3 then. So let's start with the goalkeepers, which I guess is going to be an interesting debate because two very commanding goalkeepers for both sides. Kopend, give your argument.
Bye.
Alright, so simple. Alisson Becker, he's been here 2 seasons, and within those 2 seasons, he's amassed a stupid amount of points, a stupid amount of clean sheets. Even this season, he played less than 30 games, and he got 19 clean sheets. It's a bit mad how good he is. I've never seen a keeper be loved by nearly every rival. I don't see any rival say anything negative about him. They would all have him in their team. I think it's clear that he was a better keeper than Van der Sar. Van der Sar was a good a nice guy. You'd like to have him as your neighbour. Tall, lanky arms. He was all right on his day, but ultimately, from what I remember, 07-08, he used to concede quite a few goals. I don't think his clean sheets were there. I know the following season he did quite well, but ultimately, if you're looking at the 2 seasons that we're comparing, Alisson Becker had the better 2 seasons.
Okay.
That's great. So earlier I said Sebby was channeling the ghost of Harvey Specter.
Amazing.
From Suit. Some of you may have watched A Few Good Men. Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. I'm gonna be Daniel. I'm gonna be Daniel Caffey this evening, people.
Yeah.
So just a tail of the tape. I like to use this on our top 30 Premier League series where I kind of go back and check out the stats rather than just using my memory. So in 2008-2009, Van der Sar won the Golden Glove because he had 21 clean sheets. In 07-08, he had 14 clean sheets. Yeah. So in the Premier League, he had 35 clean sheets in 62 games. So that's a 56% clean sheet rate. In Alisson's 2 seasons, he had a 50% clean sheet rate. So off the numbers I've just used, it's kind of contradicting what you said, Fahi, but Van der Sar had more clean sheets in the Premier League than Alisson Becker. So that's great. And then I thought, maybe it's just the Prem. Let me actually look a bit further, see how we did across all competitions. So in 07-08, he had 25 clean sheets in 44 games. 08-09, he had 33 clean sheets in 43 games. So if my maths is all right, and it may be a bit dodgy, Lewis, because I had to rush. I had a busy day today, but I got 68 clean sheets in 87 games. That's a 78% clean sheet.
Whoa.
If he plays 10 games, he's only conceding a goal in 2.2 of those games. And you know what? I'll even be nice and round it up and say he's conceding a goal in 3 of those games. So he played in a better era for keepers. So that's probably why people find him so beloved when you compare him to his contemporaries. Van der Sar had, Cech, Reina, Joe Hart, all goalkeepers who won the Golden. Joe Hart was still good at that point, but they were all Golden Glove winners. Cech won it about 3 times, Reina won it about 3 times, and I think Joe Hart won it twice. With his feet, he was one of the best ball-playing goalkeepers of his generation. So I think when you combine the superior clean sheet record and the fact that he was one of the precursors in terms of being a ball-playing goalkeeper, it was still like, I think, a 32, 33-year-old Edwin van der Sar.
37.
30, wow, crazy, scary. A 37-year-old Edwin van der Sar, 2 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League title. I think he takes the biscuit. It's really close, though, and I reckon if we probably use another 2 seasons where Alisson, instead of one of them being injured as much as he did, then we'd have a different conversation. But unless Fahi has any facts to bring to the table, rather than his clearly shaky memory, I rest my case.
Interesting. So one thing I'll say to that straight away, obviously you're using 2 seasons of Edwin van der Sar where he wasn't injured like my guy Alisson. We do have to bear in mind the fact that Alisson did do whatever he did at the beginning of this season, and he missed about 9 to 10 games. So when we're factoring in this and you're looking at the clean sheet records and the amount of clean sheets, you need to bear in mind the amount of games that Alisson did actually miss Morayo. So based on that, and if we just kind of use our eye test,
why? But surely it's just a proportion of the games you actually played. It's just a proportion of the games you played.
It's a percentage.
Yeah, the rule of percentage,
mate. Because you never know what could have happened the first 8 games of the season. We could have kept 8 clean sheets. You will never know.
Yeah, but you
anyway,
didn't.
As I was saying, Morayo, if you just kind of use your eye test, like if you really use your football knowledge, we're all knowledgeable lads in here apart from Sebby. If you use your eye test and you kind of look at goalkeepers, it's got to be Alisson, man. I'm sorry, Sebby.
But why has it got to be Alisson, though? Why has it got to be Alisson? I want to hear
it's because he's a good church. It's because Alisson's a good church youth. That's why.
And he's got a nice beard as well.
I enjoyed Daniel Caffey's argument. I would like to hear yours.
What has Van der Sar got over Alisson? I'm really confused.
I just told you he's a superior ball playing centre goalkeeper. And he was obviously a great shot stopper. He had more clean sheets.
Did win us the Champions League as well.
Yeah. Pedigree penalty shot stopper as well. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The eye test is great, but we're having an eye test about seasons that were 11 to 12 years ago. That's why me and Sebby, we did our due diligence. We went back and we pulled up the stats because we knew that you lot would try and be, the thing about the old days.
The old days.
During the war.
I think based on the stats that I presented, it'd be very difficult to go with anybody other than Edwin van der Sar in this particular argument. And actually, funnily enough, they both had similar 2 seasons. Both had a season where they played 33, 34, 35 games. And then the second season, they both played less than 30. So again, your argument of what Alisson would have done if he'd played 30 games is crazy to your point.
So here's the other point then, Morayo. If you had the choice between a 36-year-old Edwin van der Sar and a 26-year-old Alisson Becker, who are you going for?
Based off what I've just presented with you?
No, based off what I'm just asking you right now. Who do you go for?
Van der Sar.
You'd go for a 36-year-old Van der Sar, yeah?
Yeah.
One cost 2 million, the other one cost about 60.
Mad.
Yeah.
But yeah. How are we judging this? Is this down for
Lewis,
the Patreon?
No, I feel like for Lewis, I feel like Lewis has got to be the tiebreaker for here, and then the Patreon people can just say their whatever they want.
Yeah, and I think what you'll find is probably
I'm only going to do it based on arguments, okay? I'm not doing it based on my opinion, all right? I'm only doing it on the arguments that you guys provide me, all right?
Yeah.
And for that particular position, I have to say Van der Sar.
Like what?
The argument. produced was top notch. So yeah, let's move to right back. So Morayo, do you want to present your candidate?
No, we don't have a candidate.
Oh,
no,
you
thanks.
see,
See, we're fair.
We don't have a candidate to present.
I respect that. I respect that. That I respect.
I'm not wasting my time. Like
Exactly.
the time it took me to check first for these stats, I'm not going to do that for West Brown if I know he's going to lose against Trent.
Come on.
Oh, it was West Brown. I thought it would have been like Gary. No, it weren't Gary.
Those seasons it was Wes who was on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right back.
So default Trent, right?
Would you?
I would like to hear what you guys would have said though.
You know what? Me and El were kind of banking on you guys forfeiting this.
Oh, I respect that.
You know what? What are they going to say about West Brown? And they felt like, you know what? Mariah's a good guy, you know. Deep down, we'll try and argue this.
You can't put it past Seb, though. You can't put it past Seb. I know Morayo had to convince Seb. Right, let's concede on this one, and we'll get them there, all right?
Hey, listen.
But that cross in the Champions League final, Morayo. That cross, come on, man. Let's
That
take
cross.
Trent outside. Let's take Trent outside. Come on, we can do it, man.
Okay, let's do the other fullback then before we move into the central area. So let's talk about left back. Is there going to be a debate here, or Fahi, do you want to provide your candidate?
You know what? All right. So obviously our candidate's Robertson. Patrice Evra's a fucking good left back. I'm a big fan of Patrice Evra.
Hey, Fahi, you don't have to say that.
No, I am a massive fan. I'm a massive fan. So, you know, I just want every United fan to know I'm a massive fan of Patrice Evra. I'm a big fan of the guy.
Did you or did you not wear free Suarez shirts?
Please. Anyways, now that I've said that, Ellis,
Apologies, we got it massively wrong.
Apologies, we got it massively wrong. I thought that the coming of Robertson to Liverpool revolutionised our attacking play. As everyone knows, the last 2 seasons, Trent and Robertson have been so imperative to the way we go forward. Aside from that, defensively, he's part of a defensive unit that conceded less than 60 goals in both seasons. One-on-one, he excels very much. He's somebody that going forward and coming back, he uses his pace very well, intelligently defends, rarely gets caught out. So yeah, that's why I'm going for him. For someone like him, he has a lot of PMP, which is needed in this Liverpool team. So yeah, I'm going for Robertson.
Okay. Fahi, you concur?
Messi's head. Let's not forget that.
Oh yeah.
Do you concur with that selection, Fahi? You're happy with that? That's
I agree
Team
with
Kopend selection. Okay. Morayo, Seb, are you going to provide a counter argument to that?
Nope.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll forfeit that one as well.
Wow. Okay.
I mean,
I wasn't expecting that.
So one thing I'm going to say straight away, Patreon listeners, I hope you know that me and Ellis will always try and fight for you guys. So whereas these two cowards are just
the Corbynistas, yeah.
No matter what, we will try and fight for these players.
Hey, listen, as Morayo showed earlier, we're all about the percentages. So listen.
Letting them have the easy ones. Yeah,
okay. Come on.
All right, okay. Right, now this is going to be a contentious one, obviously. So let's talk about centre-backs. Morayo, Seb, since you didn't give an account for the last 2 positions, maybe you should give your account for the centre-back positions.
Cool.
Who's the strongest, by the way, from your choices? That's what I'd like to know.
Our strongest centre-back?
Yeah.
Rio Ferdinand.
Okay.
So for centre-back, I think we're talking about 2 positions for 3 players, 2 Manchester United players, and 1 Liverpool player, just to explain a bit further. I mean, we all know, but we're talking Rio, Vidic, and sorry, something just popped up in my message. Rio, Vidic, and what's his name? Van Dijk. That's it, Van Dijk. Thankfully, for the first position, Rio plays the right centre-back role, and he's up against a mixture of Lovren, Matip, and who's the other one? Gomez. Rio Ferdinand, for me, pretty much takes it. Again, a tale of the tape. In 59 Premier League games, he got 7 yellow cards. no errors leading to goals,
Wow.
29 clean sheets, even chipped in with a couple of goals himself. In 07-08, he averaged a yellow card every 8 games. That's across all competitions. In 08-09, he averaged a yellow card every 14 games. Played in 2 Champions League finals, won the Prem twice. He was in the PFA Team of the Year twice. So that's the stats. And then talking about the eye test, you're talking about a centre-back who excelled physically, you're talking about a centre-back who excelled technically, and you're talking about a centre-back who had all the mental leadership qualities that you could ask for. You're talking about one of the greatest centre-backs we've ever watched. So for me, Rio is easy shoe-in this team. The second one is Vidic. Personally, for me, Vidic, again, I rested my case there. I left that one because I don't think he beats Virgil van Dijk.
Seb, do you concur with that?
No. So,
while you're doing your preamble, if you want to, I'm joking.
Okay, so you've put forward Ferdinand, but you're willing to concede on the other position. Guys, do you have a second person, a second centre back to challenge Ferdinand?
I'm not gonna. No.
I thought you were gonna fight for everyone. Why are you not fighting for Joe Gomez? Why are you not fighting for Joe Gomez?
All I'm gonna say, you're talking about. Rio Ferdinand was a good player, yeah. Again, another good guy. But my issue with Rio Ferdinand is he fails drug tests and he doesn't take them. Number one, so straight away as a professional, I'm not a fan of him. Number two, in a foot race, Gomez would batter him. So based off those two things, foot race and actually being a professional, I'd go with Joe Gomez.
Good on.
Simple.
Fair enough. I would have to disagree with you personally. I think a gallant defence of Joe Gomez, I must say. But yeah, we will go with Ferdinand and Van Dijk, I think. So far, the team consists of Van der Sar, Wes Brown, Rio. Trent. Sorry. Do you know what it was? We spent more time talking about Wes Brown than we did about the actual right back candidate. That's what it was. So I wrote down the wrong name. Van der Sar, Trent, Ferdinand, Van Dijk, and Robertson. Right. Okay. Let's move into central midfield then. So we got a midfield three. We'll start with the defensive midfield, the holding midfield position first. I'm guessing you both got a candidate for that.
Yeah, I'm putting Fabinho in there.
Yeah,
okay.
For us, it's interesting because we had a fluid midfield three who, at any time within the game, could all kind of occupy any one of the midfield roles. One of them, Owen Hargreaves, probably lended himself more towards the more defensive of the two midfield roles. But for our candidate, who do we want to go with for our defensive midfield candidate, Seb?
These guys,
maybe we say maybe like maybe Carrick. Or no, Hargreaves, man.
Let's go with Hargreaves.
Has to be Hargreaves.
That's it. I tailored the tape.
Right,
cool.
So we're going to go Hargreaves versus Fabinho. Who wants to present their arguments first? We'll go with Kopend, actually. Let's go with Kopend since they put forward Fabinho first.
All right, just to let you know, just to say, Hargreaves started 17 league games in those 2 seasons. So the fact that
Fabinho start like 17 league games in the first season as well. Like.
No. Hargreaves 17 in 2 seasons.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay.
So we're comparing that against Fabinho. Ellis, what would you say about Fabinho?
Since he's coming into the team, he has been a linchpin. He has made us more physical. He's a player who, from playing as a holding midfield, has got a couple of assists in each season. Gets goals from midfield as well. Passing, he's excellent. Tackling, he's excellent. He orchestrates from the holding role. I feel that, like you said, if you're gonna put in Hargreaves, who's played 17 games.
He hasn't played 17. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to correct.
I said started 17.
All right, okay.
I said started 17.
And also, Hargreaves wasn't even holding like that. Man had to get shifted out to right back and that. So then you can show his uselessness wasn't needed there from. So we're going for Fabinho.
Going for Fabinho. Morayo, Seb, any counter arguments to that?
When you say he started 17 games, is that just the Prem, yeah?
In the league, yeah, we're talking league, right? So we're talking.
Well, we're talking everything, aren't we? We're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we are, but obviously your bread and butter is the league. So let's look at the league. So the first season he started 17 league games. Second season he started 1. So really and truly, I'm not going to have that against Fabinho. Sorry.
Okay, so why are we just talking about the league? That's funny to your boy because we've spoken about Champions League titles, have we not? Anyway, I digress. All right,
cool. So in 0809,
can I speak? Can I speak?
2 games.
No. Can I speak? Can I speak? The point I just wanted to make is that when you do use stats, you're bungling them essentially. So next time we do this, Lewis, we're probably going to have a fact checker on hand as well. So he was with us.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, you can do what you can. This would essentially be 1 season of Owen Hargreaves, and that we're comparing against 2 seasons of Fabinho. And then the questions becomes, based off how well he played at his best in that 1 season, would you take that over how well Fabinho played in whichever one of these 2 seasons was his best season? Owen Hargreaves, better athlete than Fabinho. He covered ground much better than Fabinho. I think if there's one weakness, and this isn't even I would call it necessarily a weakness, but if there's one particular area of Fabinho's skill set where I say that he somewhat struggles, I'd say it's his ability to cover large spaces. That's something that Owen Hargreaves did better than him. Both of them are technically very good players. Fabinho's shown that he has a lovely strike of the ball, takes penalties. Owen Hargreaves, this may come back in your memory, Lewis, scored a free kick against your Arsenal. So he's a bit deft with it. For me, at their best, it's literally a wash. To be honest with you, and you probably might lean towards Fabinho for his durability. But if I was talking about Owen Hargreaves' 07-08 season against Fabinho's 18-19 season, my bias would lead me slightly towards Hargreaves. He played 36 games. Yeah, he played 36 games across all the competitions. He started 25 of those games, was only booked 4 times, chipped in with a couple of goals as well. And yeah, he played in the biggest club cup final of them all, won it all. Key player to the best Premier League side ever, in my opinion.
So of those 36 games, by the way, how many of those sub appearances, how many minutes were actually played on average? Because of those 36 games, he only started 23. So in a whole season, he started 23 games. So I'm just wondering, as an average in minutes, and seeing as you're the stat man, Morayo, what were his appearances like off the bench?
I wouldn't have his minutes off the bench to hand. I mean, I love my stats. I love my stats, but that's a level of stats deep diving that is beyond me. He averaged about 60 minutes a game. I mean, there's a reason he only.
I feel like you're just making that up.
No, it's a pretty straightforward calculation. So the amount of minutes he played altogether divided by the amount of games he played. I think we'll trust my maths here because your maths summed up was, but what if Alisson played more games? We don't know what his clean sheet percentage would have been.
Yeah, but Morayo, I'm Asian.
Huh?
I'm Asian. So
yeah, so you're supposed to know.
You're supposed to know.
So based off that, and the fact that Sebby and Morayo took a while to even come up with who their DM would be, I'm sorry. So it's a whitewash.
65 minutes a game. 65 minutes a game for Hargreaves.
It's not a lot, is it? It's not a lot from your.
And it was across 34 games, not 36. I'm not sure we get the extra 2.
Mad. He was just adding 2 games for fun, interest, right? So yeah, cool. It's a whitewash for Fabinho, to be honest.
I still don't know. Like, you guys haven't really presented an argument as to what Fabinho does better than Hargreaves.
I mean, he starts more games. Number one, he's a lot more reliable to come.
Availability is the greatest
availability.
tool.
Okay, so let's hold on. Let's talk.
Anchorman needs to be available, man.
Okay, so let's talk about understanding of what this team is, and obviously you can concur. Make sure we're all on the same page. If we're talking about these players' time in these 2 seasons, and one of them has a much more superior 1 season, and I want to just make a team who that season, for example, I want them to play the best team in the world somewhere, or I want them to take that 1 season and put it in my team for that season, it doesn't really matter how much more durable Fabinho was.
You're right.
Okay. So Morayo, what did Hargreaves excel like more? What was he? winning balls
He
more?
excelled coming off the bench. That's what he
What was it like? Did he?
Like he was a good all rounder. Like I said to you, he was a good athlete. He was a good technician.
What you said that his one season was more better than Fabinho's one season. So what in particular made his one season more better than Fabinho's?
Ellis, speaking slowly doesn't mean you're saying anything that makes any sense.
Let
me finish.
Okay.
The same question Lewis asked Fahi, I'm gonna ask you. Why should Fabinho? So instead of asking, okay, we've made points very clear. Hargreaves didn't play a lot. He had a chronic arthritis, unfortunately for him. But why should Fabinho start? So I've told you guys the skill set that Hargreaves has and where I think he excels more than Fabinho. So that's athletically. I've said that they're both very good technicians. Mentally, you can question Fabinho because if his first season was his best season, it took him about, a third of the season to actually start for them. So if that's his best season...
What's that mental? Don't be disgusting.
Well, it's a combination of mental and adjusting to a new league. So if that's his best season, I can't calculate how many minutes he averaged a game, but I'm guessing his starts probably wouldn't have been too dissimilar to Hargreaves' best season because he spent a third of the season out of the team. If that's his best season up against Hargreaves' best season, I've also told you attributes-wise why I think I would prefer Hargreaves. Again, not very much in it, but I'll give the slight edge to Hargreaves' physical ability and the fact that in that season, Hargreaves was able to, as much as his body allowed him to, be a mainstay in that team. What about the way Fabinho played on the pitch should be the reason that he starts? And that, Ellis, is how you talk slowly and actually make a good point.
Fabinho 71 minutes average in 18-19, so 6 minutes per game average more than Hargreaves.
Quite a lot.
Is it 6 minutes?
But if you're saying that physically Hargreaves was superior to Fabinho, but he was always injured, so that was really washed with me. So basically, every 65 minutes he breaks down. I'm not having that.
Okay, again, my words. This is difficult.
What's saying to you that Fabinho, was more available than Hargreaves? You're saying that.
What is that his attribute? Is that his main attribute?
So just so I can finish, Ellis, I said he's better physically, but he always got injured. Those are two different points. So it's similar to when I told Lewis that Leno couldn't be a team of the year contender and also be a good. They're two different points. Somebody can be a fantastic athlete who always gets injured. The point is, if Fahi decided to mention Hargreaves' availability, and I get it, it's the easy stick to beat him with, that isn't necessarily what gets you into the team of the year. And then when you compare it to Fabinho's best season, his first season in England, which he spent a third of it being in and out of the team, averaging on average 6 minutes more a game, what are you actually giving him over Hargreaves for that better season to put him in the team?
He didn't start until the end of October, did he, Fabinho? He didn't start until the end of October, I think.
It's funny
they must have missed like the first 9-10 games.
Hargreaves did not have a performance in the Premier League that season like the one Fabinho had against Wolves when they ran him ragged.
Yeah.
This guy probably I should probably go back to France, this is a bit mad still.
I mean, Hargreaves didn't have that because half the time he wasn't available. So anyway, back to characteristics and the strengths of each player. Yes, Hargreaves was a very good ball-playing midfielder. Another player I really liked a lot, but he just wasn't available enough. I liked him a lot for England. He was good with the ball. He could break up play well. He was strong as well. I would say Fabinho aerially is very strong. I think if you're looking at an aerial battle in defensive mid, I think Fabinho would have an edge over Owen.
Yes, aerial ability. The reason why we start our DMs.
I mean, you're discussing attributes, right? So I don't.
Think for Liverpool, that's why we start DMs.
Another point we should be discussing is the vision of each player. Again, Hargreaves was an amazing ball-playing midfielder. I think Fabinho has shown as well how good he is with the ball. Yes. If you're looking at a threat from outside of the box, Fabinho shown in big occasions against the second biggest team, the second best team in the country, he can happily crack it in top left.
What was the score at that time? What was the score in the match at that time?
That time, it was 0-0, wasn't it?
Was it at the first goal? Oh, great.
Yeah, that was the first goal. And also, Fahi's
he did this.
Fahi's interesting that you mentioned like ball playing ability, because in the best 2 seasons they had, Fabinho done more, averaged more accurate long balls than Hargreaves, and also more passes per match. So if we're going through for Liverpool, our DM, we want someone who can pass the ball more, and we're looking for someone who is also good defensively in the air. We're going to go for
That's
Fabinho.
interesting, Ellis, because I just thought Morayo was the stat man and he would give us these numbers, but he didn't give us these numbers. Instead, I
think we need to move on. Right, guys, finish your point and we'll move on.
A combined team putting in a DM because of the tactics that Liverpool play is irrelevant, because we haven't picked our manager yet. And the fact that he plays more long balls is indicative of the style of football he plays. So mentioning his manager-specific traits when we haven't picked a manager is too much information. But your boy loves it, honestly.
Yeah, because that's the way Man United played. Counter-attacking football.
Yeah, we didn't launch it like you guys. We
I remember that goal against Arsenal. We played several different styles, but anyway, this one sounds like a discussion.
Let's move on. I think I'm probably gonna have to go with the Liverpool lads on this one with Fabinho, simply because Hargreaves didn't play that much, man. Like, he didn't play that much.
I respect how much he fought for him.
The available games, started half the available games, so I would probably go for. And if it's across all the seasons as well, he didn't even play the season after, and obviously maybe the season that was his first season at United, right?
07-08 was, yeah.
So I think Fabinho personally. But yeah, we'll leave it to the listeners to decide. The other 2 midfield positions up for grabs then. Where we're going from here is Ellis.
Yeah, you can start with them, guys.
Ellis, over to you, man.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, Jordan Henderson, captain, fantastic.
Fuck off, Ellis.
Winner extraordinary. What do you mean, fuck off, Ellis? You
let him cook.
I'm saying, winner extraordinary. A leader of men. A man who
is that
very
the name of a book or something? Leader.
No, it's the name of the last episode of MUGA.
Oh, okay.
We don't listen to anything there, but that's.
So I'm not observant at all.
So yeah, I'm going to as a leader of men, good engine, someone who uses the ball very well, someone who's tactically astute, somebody that can play various positions in the field. Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Cool. We're gonna go with goals. The technical leader of our midfield. Scored big goals, scored in the Champions League semi-final against Barcelona. He could also play various roles, and at that period he played at the base of our midfield at times, and he also played a bit further forward. And that's why we had the difficulty at the start choosing, because maybe we might have played it a bit more tactically and used a different midfielder against Fabinho. But I'm happy with how it's washed up with Paul Scholes versus Jordan Henderson.
Okay, who would be your second candidate in midfield?
Michael Carrick.
Okay.
Michael Carrick. Is that my phone?
Carrick. Yeah. What about Kopend?
I mean, it'd have to be Gini Wijnaldum, man.
Okay.
So yeah,
Are you
going to provide arguments for it, or just going to let it go?
He's bad. You know about the skin fade, fam. Man can't pull that off.
For drip, I have to admit, I haven't seen too much drip from Paul Scholes. I have to admit. So Gini will be in there.
The thing is, you got to look at these things, because again, we're not discussing exactly what this team is for. Is it just for playing ability, or is it also like selling shirts and like social media likes and interaction? Like, this is 2020, man.
Yes, I get you. It's a very relevant point, but unfortunately in 2007 we didn't have social media. So that kind of goes against Paul Scholes, because we don't know what kind of mogul we could have been. He could have had loads of Instagram likes. We don't know, do we? We don't know.
The boy from Salford.
Guys, I mean, I don't think there's much discussion to be had. I think Carrick and Scholes is what I've gone for, with a Fabinho sitting. And
Fahi and Ellis, that's what you call the counter press. Is you think that we wanted Hargreaves in, but nah, mate.
Shut up, man.
We tired you. Listen, guys. We tired you out and Lewis had to think about Fabinho versus Hargreaves. He had to actually spend. That's what we do. That's what we do.
We trick y'all, man.
When it's a wash, we let it go. But if there's even a sniff of it, just a smidgen. We'll make it about. We'll take that, Seb. We'll take that.
I love that. Give me more of that. I love that.
So what's the team right now?
So we've got Van der Sar, Trent, Ferdinand, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Carrick, and Scholes. So I believe that is 1, 2, 3, 4 Liverpool players and 1, 2,
4 United.
And 4 United players. Sorry, sorry, that should have been simple maths, really. But so let's move on to the forward positions then. This is going to be. Are you guys going to do this tactically? Because what's this going to be? Oh, we play.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. 2 of our players get in. So
this is a dub.
You could do it however you want. 2 of our guys get in. So
this is a dub.
Okay. Let me. All right. So you say 2 of your players get in.
Just a dub.
Kopend, do you have a counter argument to 2 of United's forwards get into?
I mean, 2 of our players get in as well. So there's
only 3 positions.
Right, all right. So let's talk about.
I'm not going to lie.
Let's talk about some United guys. Who would there be a place in the forward line that you'd be willing to concede?
We'd be willing to concede either one of the wings, and these guys can choose if they want it to be Salah, if they want it to be Mane. Personally, I'd give it to Salah. Personally, I'd give it to Salah, but it's up to them.
Yeah, personally, they both get in.
Personally, they both get in. Who all right, so guys, MUGA, you present your forward line, and Kopend, then you can present yours. So MUGA, what would be your forward line if you are allowing Salah to get in?
Yeah, my forward line would be Salah on the right, Cristiano Ronaldo on the left, and Wayne Rooney up top. I think that probably most closely mimics what is the thing that's probably most in common with the 2 teams. The reason I feel that it works best is because Rooney and Ronaldo had a natural chemistry, which we saw time and time again. Rooney then comes in to do the Firmino role, but your actual Firmino here can score goals at a decent clip. Again, he wasn't mad prolific at this particular point in his career, but Rooney was a player who at times would go out to the left-hand side, so Cristiano Ronaldo would go up front. At times he'd go up to the right-hand side, and Tevez. Rooney was a player who was able to fit in tactically with the team perfectly, but then also had the individual qualities of a top player. I think if we want this front 3 to work its best and get the best out of it, you go that way. Obviously, they'll argue for Mane, and Mane is a very, very good player. I guess it would be Mane against Ronaldo in that case. And for me, I think, Ronaldo blows him out the water, and then I guess the other one would be Firmino versus Rooney. And again, it's funny to your boy. So for this moment, the defence rests, but waits eagerly to hear what the opposition has to say.
Interesting. Morayo, quick one, because you're the stat man. How many goals did Rooney score across both seasons, please?
Oh yeah, I've got that. Rooney got 18 goals in 43 games in 07-08, and he got 20 goals in 49 games.
So 38 goals, yeah?
Yeah.
So that is less than Salah, obviously, and that is less than Sadio Mane. Interesting. So for a number 9 that seemingly gets in so easily, I think straight away the fact that Sadio Mane has scored more goals than Wayne Rooney is very interesting.
So Morayo, is that 18 goals all competitions? Or just that's all goals, bro. All goals. All comes. Oh, man. I'm saying Salah. I'm saying Mane got 40 goals in both seasons just in the league. So
okay, cool. So that's interesting to your boy. That's funny to your boy because, as I just mentioned, Rooney would be competing with Firmino because they played the similar roles for the 2 teams, and Mane would be.
No, but hold on.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Mane would be competing.
Manager. We haven't picked the manager. We don't know what we're doing.
Mane would be competing with a certain Cristiano Ronaldo. So while I love the angle, we don't have a manager. But the thing is, we've got 2 managers, and they play their front lines in a specific way, which means that the points I make are valid. When you start talking about the amount of long passes a player makes in a game, then you're going down to the minutiae of how the tactics work. But when you're talking about a number 9 who drops deep and links play and is not the top scorer in their team and will also drop into different pockets because the team has two more potent attacking threats. You then look at Firmino versus Wayne Rooney. And obviously, Wayne Rooney's goal stats weren't the best, but then he also chipped in with 31 assists as well. You also talk about his intangibles. I forget the season, and this is my memory. I forget let me finish. I forget the season, but one of the seasons is either 07, 08, or 08, 09. We lost 6 games in the league, and the person who was missing in all 6 of those games was Wayne Rooney. So essentially, that tells you how key he was to that team. And the reason I want him in that team, above all, is because he has the best natural chemistry with Cristiano Ronaldo. So it fits when you look at it fits when you look at the stats. It fits when you look at the intangibles. And again, he won more than whoever you're bringing up to the conversation for those 2 years.
Right, so again, I respect those points. I do respect them a lot. I mean, for me, my choice of forward 3 would be Cristiano Ronaldo, Salah, and Mane.
How would that work? Sorry, how would that work?
It can work easily. They're all adaptable. So Mane can play wing positions. Ronaldo can play across the 3. Salah can play 2 positions. How can that not work?
No, I'm not asking. I'm not saying it can't. Sorry, I'm asking. I want to see how it looked on paper.
Yeah, all right. So if I really wanted it to happen, I personally would have put Ronaldo up front in the 9. Yeah, that boy can do damage. Mane on the left, working well with Robertson, and you got Salah and Trent who work like a dream anyway. Like it would be the most perfect trio.
Intangibles.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would say is obviously this is a special episode of MUGA times Kopend. So ultimately, we want the best possible team. And one thing that stood out from what Morayo said was something about, Rooney's record in those 2 seasons wasn't the best. So if that's the case, he doesn't get a say in, unfortunately.
What's Salah's record up front?
Why are we discussing that? Salah would have been
because you didn't say. You just said you'd play Salah up front.
No. I said
okay, so Ronaldo would play up front.
Ronaldo will play up front. Okay, but this is a Cristiano Ronaldo who was still a one-on-one demon. This was a Cristiano Ronaldo who still spent the majority of his time playing up front. Out wide. So when you have an actual striker, an actual number 9, you also we have 4 players we're picking for from these 3 positions. One of the 4 is a natural striker who has the ability to move into the other positions, which the other 2 would do on occasions, but you'd want essentially everyone to be in their best position the majority of the time. You are now having to play players out of position just to shoehorn your boy in. And my thing is that if the manager's Fergie or if the manager's Klopp, they ain't wanted to shoehorn these players in. They don't want to shoehorn these boys in. Klopp likes a worker.
Fluidity.
Klopp likes a worker. Let me finish, Ellis. Klopp likes a worker. What are you going to tell me about Wayne Rooney's work rate? What are you going to tell me what Klopp's not going to pick him? What Klopp's going to pick Firmino over Wayne Rooney? Yeah. And we know Fergie ain't going to pick Firmino over Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney's that guy.
Let me finish.
He'd get sent to America in December because he was getting fat. Let's not forget.
But not 07, 08, 09 though. That's the thing, Fahi. You're talking about like 20. You're talking about 2015 Rooney. You're talking about a Rooney 5-6 years after this. And then again, we're going back to the left. It's Sadio Mane predominantly played on the left. He's up against a monster in Cristiano Ronaldo, a Ballon d'Or winner, a World Player of the Year winner, a man who scored a goal in the Champions League, a man who scored 31 Premier League goals. Yeah. There's only a few players who are on that list. Salah's in that list. That's why Salah gets in my team. That's why the difference between me, us, and you is we have honour. When your player is better, we will put your player in the team. You guys, when your player isn't better, you'll find ways to sound silly. And we just have to batter you anyway. So
I respect it. And again, Ronaldo gets in easily. Like that's not even an argument. So again, between me and Ellis, we decided straight away that Cristiano is.
By the way, in 08-09, that same season, you guys are trying to shoehorn Ronaldo up front 4. He only played up front 4 times.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
I guess our judge cares. That's for our judge.
4 times.
4 times the adjudicator.
Listen, me and Ellis, 2 guys that don't see a natural striker play up front, and you're trying to tell us to have a natural striker up front. No, the way we play, we don't want a natural striker up front. We want Cristiano Ronaldo up front, and we want Mane on the left.
Wait. What do you think Ronaldo would be doing? if he was playing up front.
Netting.
Laying in shots,
Netting.
be laying in shots left, right, and centre.
But you said you didn't want a natural striker up front. Like, who would be your manager? Who would be your manager?
Gone loose.
Klopp. So Klopp would play Ronaldo, up front, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Would Mane and Salah be eating if Ronaldo was up front?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I'm trying to... what?
Mane and Salah.
No, this is not Ronaldo. This is not Ronaldo Real Madrid, though, is it?
It's Ronaldo of Manchester United. He was greedy.
So
He was greedy.
The thing is, guys, the reason why I put Rooney there is because Rooney and Firmino did the same roles for their team. They sacrificed their numbers. To allow the other players to flourish. So it worked tactically. And the point I make here is that, yeah, you and Ellis want to put Ronaldo up front. Of the two people we can choose as manager, neither of them is called Ellis and neither of them is called Fahi. One of them is called Jurgen Klopp or one of them is called Alex Ferguson. And both of them in their front threes tactically did essentially the same thing. It just putting Ronaldo up front to force. And I rate Mane so highly. Again, this is me doing my Fahi part where you tell us about how much you rate the opposition player. I rate Mane so highly, but you cannot argue tactically with what we're bringing to the table with a Salah, Ronaldo, Rooney front three. You just can't.
I understand the tactical argument. What are we talking about player ability? Mane against Rooney, because that's essentially the shootout, right? Mane against Rooney.
If we're talking about ability,
that's that.
Come on, that's easy. If we're talking about ability, Rooney's way better than Mane. If we're talking about ability,
so if he's way better and he's playing up front, why did he score less goals than Mane, who's playing on the left wing? It's a bit mad.
Because of the reason we just mentioned.
It's like us saying, why hasn't Firmino? I
don't want to mention Firmino because that's irrelevant. He's irrelevant. Nobody mentioned him here because it wasn't his role in the team to score goal. He wasn't our predominant goal scorer. Our predominant goal scorer was Cristiano Ronaldo. Hence why Rooney was used tactically, flexibly in a way that then allowed Ronaldo to flourish. So the games where Ronaldo was getting more joy out wide, Rooney would play up front. The games where Rooney had to do a shift on the wing and track back an attacking fullback, and Fergie didn't want Ronaldo to have to bother with any of that. Then Ronaldo would play up front. Rooney got Fergie did shoehorn players around to fit all of that.
Morayo was saying different earlier.
Hold on. Wait, no. Ellis. Okay, we talk about shoehorning. We are talking about. I don't know why you're laughing. We're talking about players. We're talking about players' skill sets here, yeah. When we're talking about shoehorning, you guys are talking about putting a goal-hungry Cristiano Ronaldo in the centre forward role and thinking that he will play the role that then feeds Mane and Salah in the way that a Firmino and Rooney would do. That is what I talk about shoehorning a player into a team. What I just described in terms of Rooney is what you guys describe as tactics. Lewis, I'm going to ask you this question. What's been more shameful so far? Us trying to get Hargreaves in ahead of Fabinho, or these guys trying to get Mane in somehow?
I mean, to be fair, you've not actually let us finish. And one thing we did also...
Closing arguments, please, guys. Closing arguments.
One thing we wanted to say at the start of this is with the trio that we chose of Ronaldo, Mane and Salah, it's all about adaptability. Now, one thing we like as fluid football, we like our players to move about. With those three, they can swap positions and play all over the place, yeah? With the three you selected, Morayo, again, I respect your choices. Again, you are a knowledgeable guy, but you kind of know what you're getting with that. Like, you know you're getting Rooney up front. You know you're going to get Salah on the right.
No, you're not.
I just
shit. With our trio, you don't know where Salah's going to play. He can play centre forward if he wants. He can play on the right. Ronaldo's saying he can even play on the left.
Okay, what I want to say is what player? Okay, last season the whole thing was Mane and Salah arguing because they're not passing to each other. Oh, Mane and Salah are not passing to each other.
Right.
Who's getting the ball from Ronaldo?
None of them. He's giving it straight back to Trent. Putting another cross, Trent. I'll be back. Stick. Get me in on it.
Listen, the thing is,
you know what? Honestly, no agendas aside. Genuinely, it's all about adaptability for me. I like having players that can move all over the three. So if you're going to have a 4-3-3, and like, let's say for example, you want to switch stuff about, by having Mane, Ronaldo, and Salah, you know they can move across the three because they've got previous playing in those three positions.
Every team Ronaldo's been in, there's going to be a facilitator. Every team, every single team. every single team. So
And-
unless
and
one
also-
player is going to pass in the ball all the time, yeah, it's not working.
And then also in both teams where they play with tremendous pace, you want your three quickest guys up front because both teams excel at the counter attack. No, I'm
What are you gonna
lying.
say? What is Rooney not quick?
It's not. What, is he as quick as any of the other three?
Have you not seen our counter attacks?
I mean,
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
No, but maybe he might be like half a yard slower than one of them. But I mean, the United
Half a
team-
yard.
Okay, I I don't know. Ellis, I don't know their 100.
It's not. We don't know.
Ellis, I don't know their
Morayo,
100 times. But the point I'm making is the United team
Morayo.
scored. Let me finish, Ellis.
That was probably the best counter-attacking side we've ever seen.
Exactly.
So the point I'm making is that Rooney's pace would not be a detriment to this counter-attacking team. Lewis, tell us who the front three is. Man.
Lewis, wait. So he's telling me that in the counter-attacking. Sorry, Fahi, sorry to cut you off, sir. Please.
It's fine, man.
Proceed. So you're telling me that in a counter-attacking team, where you have Mane, Salah, and Ronaldo, you're telling me you're going to sacrifice that tremendous pace for Rooney?
Sebby, we're not even responding to that.
Yeah,
it's fine because they know they're going to lose.
I've heard both of your close arguments. Do you know what? I think this really could be an amazing poll on the Touchline Twitter tomorrow. I really think it's a good debate, but I'm gonna go for the Ronaldo, Salah, Rooney forwards line simply because.
Seb. We sent we exchanged voice notes around 6 o'clock, and this is essentially
This is the team.
The team.
This
is what we said the team would be.
This was the team.
And I respect you guys.
I respect
you guys, but I tell you what, you didn't think we'd put this much work in.
Listen,
Fahi's head was hot when I started. Fahi's head was hot when I was pulling up stats. Do you know when I knew I won? Yeah. When Fahi was like, I don't think Van der Sar got that many clean sheets in those 2 years. He won the goal.
I said first season, don't fight the guy.
He won the gold. I think he won the Golden Glove in that
second season. Listen, no. When you guys play this back, you'll hear what I said, Morayo. You nasty guy.
He's nasty.
The point is, even if you said first season, second season, he had more clean sheets than your boy. Your whole thing was Becker keeps the goal more safe. You've seen his clean sheet record. You didn't specify one season. You were talking about his time across the 2 seasons. And Van der Sar had better stats. But
listen, all I'm going to say is it's quite shameful. It's quite shameful that we've got a number 9 that scored less than Sadio Mane in this team. It's genuinely disgraceful, and I'm actually shocked.
It is.
But listen, it is a great
poll tomorrow. It will be a great.
It's going to be a great poll, and I'm sure we'll get some very interesting opinions and very different opinions. And ultimately, what I say,
tomorrow, and I was going to do DIY, but fuck it, I'm arguing. I'm arguing Ronaldo, Rooney, Salah against Mane, Ronaldo, Salah. I'm ready, boys. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's going to be a good poll.
I know you're not all.
You know who's going to win.
That is going to be a good poll.
Ultimately, what I think doesn't matter. It's going to be down to the patron. It's going to be down to the listeners. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this episode. There are going to be plenty more of these versus piece of content coming up. I think Arsenal and United, we're going to be doing one next, are we?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a bit tasty.
I look forward to that.
We're going to have to do it to them again, Sam.
I look forward to
that. We're going to actually need one of you guys to be our independent judge. Probably not you two, because your wounds will still be sore. We'll probably get a man like.
Listen, I'm giving it Arsenal 11-0, mate. I'm giving it Arsenal 11-0, Gavler. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, Ray Parlour in over Ronaldo, yeah?
100%, fella. 1 million. You know me.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
who's the manager?
Oh, did you guys want to... Why is it Ferguson, isn't it?
Is it?
Why?
Yeah, I don't need to hear any arguments. But
out, man.
Alex Ferguson.
I mean, the most decorated manager in history.
Cool. No, but you know what? Forget that.
Practically any sport.
Let's talk about those 2 years. Back-to-back Champions League finals, 2 Premier League titles. He has more players in the combined 11. He's the manager who I think tactically was able to show different styles with his team, which meant that he'd be more able to use the players at hand. That's why I think he wins it.
Simple.
That's cute. It's still Klopp, but cool. All right.
This is always
this is a great recording.
Lewis, a sledgehammer versus a pebble.
Hey.
I'll give you a couple of lines.
Right, don't call yourself a pebble, bro.
I'm giving you lines and lines. Pfizer is cute.
Pause.
I'm telling you,
man.
But yeah,
Cool.
guys, let's wrap it up there. Yeah, appreciate all you subscribers for the Patreons. Even though I ain't eating, as I said, I'm not getting paid overtime for this. But yeah, tune in to the next episodes of Kopend and MUGA, and there'll be another Patreon episode for you guys next week as well.
Peace.
Peace.
So.
When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.